Hello and welcome to Center for Victory's podcast of Your Best Day Yet. Here at Center for Victory, we're here to help unlock, reinforce, and enrich relationships through personal and professional development. I'm Eric Guy, Chief Victory Officer here at the Center for Victory. With me today, back again, is one of my faves, our Chief Joy Officer, Miss Faith Guy, my daughter. Talking today, our topic for this month is get connected. We're going to talk a little bit about today, since I had you on today, connecting to your joy. And it's very important, intro to this. Why we call you that is you're just usually, all of us have bad days, but usually you're a beam of happiness and joy, and you take that everywhere with you. Love having you in here. Probably not going to let you go back to school, even if they let out those guards. But I'm really going to miss you when that happens. Probably, I think your mother will too. But
probably not.
We call you the Chief Joy Officer because you're responsible for that. And at times when we're feeling a little low, we look to you for a little bit of ray of sunshine. So that's why we call you that. And it's always good to have joy, especially in your work environment. But you also bring that inside our family. With that in mind, okay, just tell us a little bit of what does joy look like for you recently during, we've been in this for almost 3 months now with COVID and everything. In this time, what does joy look like to you, like recently, just in that 3 month span?
I think it's a whole bunch of things. I think it was finishing my semester. I think it was
Big time though. Good grades. Huh?
Yeah, that was good. I think starting here has been really fun. I've gotten to be super creative, which I really like.
And you get a cool boss.
Yeah, mom's pretty cool.
Oh. Okay.
No, but yeah, and it's fun to work with you guys and just see this side of you, and just get to collaborate with you guys all the time. It's really fun. I'm excited. I bought a Nintendo Switch, so I'm excited to play Animal Crossing. So that is joy right now.
Okay, I'll give you that.
And music. I like music. I like making music. I like listening to music. So I think it's just joy in the little things right now, because the big things seem so far away.
Yeah, I think, you mentioned music. I know you and I have always, since you were small, we've always loved music, and it doesn't always have to be the same stuff, but a lot of times it brings a lot of joy, especially when it's just kind of you and I in the office working. Yeah, even when I'm in my office and you're in the main office space, it's like, hey, look, turn on some music, and I think it's because you like to hear me sing, because my vocals
I think you
are so
couldn't
good.
be more wrong.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But it does make you laugh.
It's good. It's good. And when you change the words and make them different words, that's always fun.
Well, I think they should sing it my way.
Of course.
All right. But, that's something that we've always, if people are listening, how do you connect to joy? Get back to the things that sometimes we get away from as families, but then get back to our core. That's something you and I always have done. And then when you were in gymnastics, riding with your mom, all that way there and all the way back. I know you have songs that you still, when they come on, it's like, oh, that's our song.
Yeah. And I think for me, I have a song for every trip we've taken. When we went to VidCon the first time in 2015, I have a song for that. And then ones where we went to Mexico and we were on the plane, and I've kind of discovered parts of myself through those trips just from the music itself. So I think music is just honestly one of the definitions of joy for me. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And I think that's a big thing for people listening. How do you connect to joy? You got to find out what makes you happy, right?
Yeah. Makes that internal clock tick. That's what I always like to.
Well, I think a lot of people think, well, I'll do what she or he does, and it's then it gets confusing. And it's not what you do. I like to just go back in the woods and just walk. That gets me kind of centered.
And I hate the outdoors.
Right, and I love being outside, especially now. I just love the sun, love being outside. But good things. Anything else recently that you could think of that really brings, that you've been really trying to center yourself around and make joyful because of everything that's going on now?
I've been trying to be more okay with being alone. I know that sounds weird, but I'm a very extroverted person, and I can like sit in my room for like 5 minutes. I'm like, all right, who am I calling? Instead of calling someone, like I want to be able to kind of sit there and be like, I'm okay here. I am content here. I can look at Pinterest and not have to call someone and show them the cute pug I saw on my timeline. I don't have to talk to people all the time. We should stay connected in that aspect as well, obviously. We're hardwired for that. But I think being okay, reconnecting with yourself almost, is a type of joy that I had missed for years. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, and we're kind of getting into the next question, but what other things like bring you joy?
I love writing. I love writing music. I love writing just in general. I think it's such a powerful form of expression. So I think for me, getting back to that almost, because I like lost it for a while, for like years honestly, and now just having people around me who encourage me to write and just are with me through it all and just encourage me as a person, I think that's the best thing for me because I can express myself in a way that I couldn't before. I think being in here has been super fun and getting to let my creative juices out. And there's a quote I used for one of the mojos recently talking about creativity, and when you are creative you have to let go of that fear of being wrong. And I think recently I realized that like there's a lot of fear that holds me back from having joy. And so I would definitely say like this quarantine and this crisis should be not an excuse to be down, but an excuse to rise up from it and to kind of choose to create that joy and create what you want and be happy with what you have. And just so many life lessons are through this, and I think that's important to acknowledge.
Yeah, happy with what you have. Sometimes we overlook that until we have a time like this. That's really good and a good reminder to everybody that's listening. I know we've talked to a lot of people like that. I know I'm kind of asking you questions, but I thought of something that brings us joy that we might have forgotten to talk about. But one of the things you talked about how we've been collaborating, and I love to help people, and I've always had a heart for younger people, youth, because I had so much difficulty with that time in my life and wanted to always give back. But one of the things that has really brought me a lot of happiness and joy is trying to create this program for young adults that we've been creating that will launch here in the next week and a half. Yeah, so it's exciting, but what's really exciting about it, get to work on it with you and share. I think the big thing there that's what you talked about is being able to share that connection with one another, and it creates more joy. Like the collaboration creates more joy when we can collaborate and work on something bigger than ourselves. It gives us more drive, more purpose, more ambition, more creativity. I know you've really pushed me to be a little bit more creative and try to get my thoughts down on paper instead of running in my head. But when I do that, there's not as many things running in my head, so I'm a little bit happier.
And I think too with this group that's happening, which is a good sneak peek, and you'll see that more in the coming week or two. Jack, in his one podcast, if you've watched it, which you should, he was talking about how just like reconnecting with people is good, but being able to like have that oh crap moment when you realize like things are different and that's okay. And I was listening to a sermon the other day where he was like, we might not get back to normal, but what even is normal anymore? What if our normal before wasn't actually okay with us? And I think this group and just being here and just having more awareness around my surroundings has kind of helped me understand that like my normal was not what I thought it was. That was just being stuck in contentment. And I think, joy comes from the unknown. And it's scary, but when you put that fear beside and you get rid of that contentment, that's where joy comes from. I can't think of a singular time I've been in my comfort zone and felt full joy. Like honestly, it just, even being here, it's so out of my comfort zone to be like working in a business and working and taking, honestly, and working with you guys just because I'm so independent and I've always tried to like do my own thing and work on my own stuff, and now having to represent you guys and try to make sure I'm proud of what I'm creating, I have to get rid of that contentment. And I think that's important to acknowledge
Yeah, and then to your point, I mean, going back to that fear, getting through that fear that there's joy on the other end. How can we better connect with the things that bring us joy? And I think you might have hit on it a little bit, but just go a little bit deeper into it. How can we better connect with the things that bring us joy? Other than knowing what they are.
Yeah,
right? We have to
of
start
course.
there. I mean, some people...
And it's hard. I mean, it's not easy to figure out what makes you happy, and it seems like it's such a simple topic, but I mean, happiness is just like this constant journey we're just striving for. And I think we're hardwired for it, but it's hard to do and to find. And I think once you find what you love to do and find what kind of drives you, then just chase after it. Don't let that fear of, I'm coming back to fear, but that's really what this is when we are afraid of feeling joy or we feel like we don't deserve it, then we're just stuck in the motions. And that's so easy to do, and everybody does it. But I think once you find what you're really passionate about and you find what makes you, create your image around that. Create kind of like this internal brand for yourself. Because as soon as you do that, people are going to know. People feel what radiates off of you. So if you're radiating that joy, other people are going to be joyous too. And I think that's the best way to help people.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have joy, start by being joyful. I mean, it sounds pretty simple, but it's a lifelong lesson with everything. I mean, if you want something given to you, be a giver. If you want happiness, be happy. But going back to the joy thing, I think we just need to hear it. I mean, it does sound simple. That's why I'm laughing. But it's like
simple things are the hardest to process.
It's like, okay, I need to be more joyful if I want to have more joy in my life. Yeah, that's a great. Yeah. And I just know it's like for us to better connect with the things that bring us joy is Mike going back, and I think you mentioned Jack from one of our podcasts. Was it last week? I think, but really, reaching out to the people who matter most. Yeah. And not spending our time with people who we maybe think matter, but really reaching out to those people who mean the most. I know we had a call the other night, and I always love calling her. I know she listens to these podcasts, so I'll send a shout out to Aunt Lindy. But I mean, I love talking to her on the phone. Don't do it very often, but I mean, it was so funny. It's always been funny to talk to her, but she brings me great joy, and it's such a small package too.
Of course.
But she's just a bundle of joy.
And for me, like I always, if I'm like feeling down or I need like kind of a self check, I always call my best friend Michael, and he just always gets me in line because he's very objective and I'm very subjective. So we work together well in that sense. But he's such a happy person. I mean, he just like, he's so positive about things. Maybe he even shouldn't be positive about sometimes, but he really is. He looks at the best side of people and he looks for the greatest opportunities, and he's just such a good example of what I hope to be and like I strive to be. So it's definitely good to have someone keep you in line in that aspect.
Good.
Yeah.
So round us out. I know you have a quote for us to share, and we like to end with a quote or a motto or a mantra or something, and I really like yours, so go ahead and share it because it ties in for what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, it's by Bob Goff, which he is a phenomenal author. I mean, he's done such amazing things, and his quote is, "When joy is a habit, love is a reflex." And I think it's like very simple, gets to the point, but so easy to understand right now that like we're lacking a lot of love right now because we don't feel it internally. So again, like once you get that self-check in mind, love is going to be that reflex.
Yeah, it's good. So when joy is a habit, love is a reflex. That's good stuff. That's all for today, folks. Really appreciate you watching. Make sure you leave this video a like and leave a comment down in the comment section below if you would, please. We'd also appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button as well as the bell icon to get notified when we post next. If you'd like more information, please visit us at our website, centerforvictory.com. And remember, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, make this your best day yet. See you next time.